My name is Rooney Floyd. I live in Aiken, South Carolina. Been coming to the folk school in the 40s years. And in the last part of that, I got interested in the history of the folk school and ran across some information about these Quaker women being at the folk school back in the 40s, 45, 46. And we looked onto a lot of information that we didn't have, and made a pretty interesting story, at least to me. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, is Quaker women at the folk school. So let's look at who these women were, where they came from, and why they were here. They were Quaker college-age women in the Northeast and the Midwest, and they participated in summer work camps performing humanitarian aid where there was a need. They were organized through the American Friends Service Committee, or as I would say, AFSC. Friends in the name, of course, implies Quaker organization, and the AFSC was founded in 1917. It provided alternative service opportunity for youth, and normally the camps would have included men also, but in 1945, most of the men of that age were either in service or performing alternative service somewhere else. Mrs. Campbell had requested AFSC assistance near the end of World War II to help replace the school woodworking shop that had burned in December of 1944. She was familiar with the AFSC because they had sent Louise Pittman, who a lot of you will know, to assist at that time at the new school in 1928. Louise's assignment was to be just for one winter only, but she stayed 18 years. So during that time, Mrs. Campbell learned a lot about the AFSC, very familiar with them, and that's why she made this request at the end of World War II for some help in replacing the wood shop. The AFSC responded by sending 2 work groups of 8 weeks each in the summers of 45 and 46. So we'll look at the 45 work group first. This is a picture, I believe, Marguerite took.
It's in Marguerite's photo.
That's Marguerite's photo. And
Rooney.
This is a 8-member work group with a chaperone couple. Malin helped HTPT and his wife Ann and their child. And then the other 8 were campers that were going to assist staff.
We can't hear you back here.
Would you move it over toward you?
Yes.
Yeah, if you speak into the mic, it would really help.
Yeah.
How's that?
That's
Much
better.
better.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting me know. These 8 campers were going to work with the school staff and provide the labor in order to rebuild the shop. And while it's up there, I'm going to point out this one camper right here. It is Marguerite Hollingsworth. Okay. We're going to talk about her a little bit later, but I just want you to kind of see her and see what she looks like in that. They got here and set up in the Rock House as their headquarters. The camp was from June 25th to August 20th. Cost was $90 per camper, and that included all their expense except the travel to and from the school. And they were asked to bring their ration books for food purchases. Okay. Here we see an evening meal. I think that was the back porch on the Rock House, and enclosed now. And they were eating a meal, I think that, if not the first day they were all here, very soon in the time here. The project description stated that the campus would assist in building a larger and more permanent shop of stone. When work began, the Campbells noted in their first morning meditation that they would be joining people all over Europe in clearing away charred rubble and rebuilding. First phase of the work was cleanup from the fire and the layout of foundations for a new shop. Excavation with shovel and wheelbarrow. You can see here, they've taken off the better clothes and got those work outfits on. See the heavy shoes they were wearing, and they're really leaning into those shovels, and they were excavating the foundation, putting material on that wagon to be hauled off. Let's see. Okay, that's the shovel work. They mixed the cement here on the site, and they placed it by shovel and wheelbarrow. Here you can see them mixing the cement. That's the barrel is the cement mixer itself, and she's loading it with sand and cement. They put water in there and rotate it. Then after mixing, the cement was hauled through wheelbarrow. So emptying the cement mixer in the wheelbarrow, and that's going to be hauled over to a series of wooden forms where it was poured on the stone to build the walls. So if we go to the next one, let's see. That's Margaret Hollingsworth sewing, and she's cutting a board there where they were doing the form, laying out and building the form work. Wooden forms, pretty complicated. There's a form for the inside and the outside walls, and cement and stone placed in between the two. And this is what it looked like as it was going up. This is a little closer shot, filling in those forms. There's actual space in between the inside and the outside forms, about 10 inches wide. And the man on the left is fitting stone up against there, and then the lady and the man with shovels will be placing cement behind that stone against the solid wall to form the inside and the outside walls. The stone for the outside facing of the building came from the fields and the streams and was hauled by wagon and fitted by hand. Okay, next one. You can see the outside portion of this wall has already been poured and forms stripped away, and you can see it beginning to take shape. So that's how that looked. And one more picture of the work site. You can see. I've got a phone here. You can see an area with the stone where it's finished, and an area back here where the inside of the form has been sheeted, and then this area out front here where there's no sheeting on either the inside or outside. The staging of the stone has been done along this wall, so when it's ready, they'll be able to hand fit it in. Once again, this is Margaret Hollingsworth going to the work site. Okay.
Randy,
Yes.
this is the blacksmith shop, right?
No, it's a woodworking
Oh,
shop.
woodworking,
Yeah.
okay.
1946. This one burned in December of '44. And she made a request, and I said, okay, well, next summer, summer '45, and we'll bring a workforce.
And this is the shop's
You see,
technique for building.
this is a lot bigger than, the little blacksmith shop.
That's what I was saying, I was thinking.
And the technique is really what Leon Deschamps developed here. He had just left and gone to Warren Wilson during the last 12 months or so. But the staff and the people here were well versed in how to do it. And so it's the same kind of buildings as they were. There were about 20 of those Deschamps buildings either here on site or in the community houses, and so they had really had a lot of practice there. All right, let's see where we go from here. So work progressed well under the direction of the folk school staff, except one of the Campbells required attention once you stepped on the nail, had to go to Mercy to get a tetanus shot. Another girl came down with mumps and required isolation for 2 weeks, but she recovered and no one else was affected by it. Okay. Chaperone couple was shown here. Mayland helped receive a haircut from Ann in the yard of the Rock House while he reads Life magazine. And, let's see. Next slide. Here we see the workers enjoying lunch out on a little grassy slope between the Rock House and Little Rock, I call it. They have different names today. The Rock House is behind this camp out in this area. And this is Little Rock, which was garage for a rock house originally, but it had been used as an apartment. Susan DeLaurier lived there for a year or so, and then it was made into a dormitory, and I believe it's office space now. Still there, but that little grassy slope is still right out there. They ate there whenever the weather allowed. Next picture, I couldn't resist putting it in. It best illustrates the current saying of a happy camper. The outer walls and the frame and the floor were completed by the camp end, and a simple ceremony was held to see the last stone set in place. Staff reviewed the progress and said everything was set for the next work camp to come and finish the building the next year, 1946. So the 45 camp had produced a substantial monument to their work, and staff and community members remarked how well the young women worked with shovels, wheelbarrows, and framing and stone. The final AFSC report said the women had put in 1,840 man-hours of work during the camp. But we all chuckled and thought, well, man-hours is probably not the proper term. But anyway, so the ceremony closed and all sang All Lang Syne.
They did that for 2 weeks?
8
How long were they?
8 weeks.
8 weeks, okay.
2 camps, 8 weeks each.
Yeah.
2 months.
Wow.
Mid-June to mid-August. Might say the hottest part of the year. For outdoor work, heavy outdoor work.
Rooney, were you able to identify any local folks helping, like Oscar or others?
Yeah, not Oscar. We have some photos that may show some of those people, and I guess I could stop here and say, once we had all this information, I made a post on the folk school homepage and entitled it Working Under the Star. And it's up to part 5 now, parts 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And it's a lot more detailed than what I'm giving you today. If you're interested, you can look at that.
Yeah.
And you would probably recognize some of those people.
Yeah, thanks. Okay.
I did not know them personally, so I didn't put a name to the face. Okay, so the next summer, 46, work camp came back at the school request. It ran again from late June to late August. General arrangements were similar to the previous year. They had a chaperoning couple with children. This year it was 9 young women instead of 8. And again, they stayed in the Rock House. none of the 46 crew had been on the 45 crew, and ration books were still required. The new crew was impressed with the work on the shop that the previous crew had done, and the community respect that they had earned. But then they were disappointed to learn that all the material required to finish the shop, such as nails, windows, roofing, hinges, hardware, and so forth, were commercially supplied, and at that time just not available. But they worked faithfully, however, for several weeks on the assigned task. They cleaned and painted the rock house inside and out, weeded the yard, pruned the shrubbery, painted the dairy barn, and various other buildings, harvested hay, threshed grain, and worked in the garden. Again, their work was quite good and received compliments from staff and the local community as well. The problem was they were finishing the work too fast, and the paint had run out for the creamery, and their hopes were dwindling to leave a monument to their work as the previous camp had done. But then in week 5, which would be halfway through the 8-week camp, George Bidstrup obliged them by announcing the school would break ground for a new forge shop. And morale was boosted, but they were concerned that as to whether they could finish the stonework in the time remaining. The team responded by deciding to work longer hours and picking up the pace. They began, as before, by digging the foundation, erecting the forms, fitting the rocks, pouring concrete in the forms. George and Marguerite Bidstrup came by each day and provided encouragement, and the work progressed well. We've got some more pictures here. This is the shovel work as before. This is erecting in the form. You see the two stud walls with the hollow space in the middle, which is where the rock and the cement goes. And handing off cement on the scaffold. I want to call your attention to this young lady right here. Her name is Coffeen Crosby. She was from Cincinnati, Ohio, and we have some information later we found out about her, and we'll be talking about her a little later. But if you will, notice her facial features and her hair, because I think you'll recognize her when you see age progression photograph a little bit later. So as you might imagine, after the team finally had more work than they could do, the paint arrived for the creamery. A small group was sent to paint, but the outlook was still fair to finish the forge walls by the end of the camp. The team recruited some local help to finish the painting with the creamery, and then all the campers returned for one last run at the forge. In the final week, the work was heavy, but the shop walls and the 2 gables were completed. Even the kitchen crew came down to help the last 2 days. And next. This is the final cleanup that last week. And you can see the drips and runs of where the water, the cement had leaked down outside those walls while they're drying. These ladies are cleaning it off. I think one has a hose, the other one's scrubbing a little bit. But you can begin to see what the blacksmith shop looked like. And I first thought that was Tower House behind it, but I believe it might be the barn across the road. I'm not sure. So as the final gable is being completed,
Sorry, we're just talking about whether it's the tower house or the barn.
I don't think the Tower House has that big a gable ends and double windows and the dormers sticking out like that, but I'm not sure.
Does that building still stand?
Oh, yes.
The barn looking building?
Oh, the barn, well, that's what we're talking about.
Is it
Well,
still?
you see, actually, when you look at the bottom of the weather boarding on that building, right there,
Yeah.
there is stone wall below it.
Yeah.
So,
Doesn't look-
is that big?
You got a big powerhouse.
Nothing to the tower, huh?
Yeah.
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 We'll go with tower. Ron, you got that?
He thinks the tower house, he told me.
Okay, tower house. Let's see. So George suggested, he was so pleased with the results, he suggested that the AFSC star emblem be set in the front gable over the arched doorway. And the weekly report stated that two Campbells worked hard to produce a fine wooden plaque in the right colors. On Sunday afternoon, August 8, 46, a little ceremony was held in front of the building, and a Campbell unveiled the plaque, which stood out beautifully in the stone wall. This is him doing that. He just unveiled it. And you can see it's over the arched doorway. You can see the star, the detail of it. It's pretty close to what it should be. It stayed up there for 67 years. But then it came down. And this is it. This is the actual piece that he's got his hand on right there. And it had deteriorated so badly that we couldn't rehab it, fix it. We decided we needed to replace it with something else. So, but anyway, we have this old Susanna place. I know that's the same one. Okay. Cause I took it down. It was blacksmith work week.
Could you hold that up again, please, so we could see it over here?
Oh, this?
Yeah, just to see what it looked like. Oh, just doesn't look like much now.
Yeah, you have to look pretty close to see the star.
It
Yeah.
was carved, but it's very simple. We call it incising.
Yeah.
And it's a seam. It's a 6-pointed star with sand hourglass in the center. And I'm told the colors were the same, red and black with a white background.
Okay.
I came in '78 for the first time. There was no paint left in.
Oh, right.
So,
Yeah.
but it is the same.
I
the
see.
same.
Thank you.
We want to see.
We want to see.
We want to see over here. We
So
want
now
to see it,
throw
please.
something at me.
Okay. Oh, wow.
It's,
Barely.
we were talking about this a moment ago, it's poplar wood, yellow poplar.
Goodness.
And-
And then
Well,
it's signed
yeah,
on the
that's-
back.
Yeah, that's not how that's put together.
Okay, okay.
It had dry rotted so much and it cracked that we just decided to replace it with one, I'll
That's the
show you.
same star that's on
Yeah.
the opening thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh.
so we took it down because it needed, it needed a replacement. And if you will go, this is what we're replacing with, a ceramic one. The guy that was working with me, Steve Barringer from Charlotte, it was during Blacksmith Work Week, and we had a job to replace, a screen vent that's up in the gable, rotted along the way. We were working right there in front of this thing, and that drew our attention, so got permission from Jan to take it down. He knew what it was, he told me about the AFSC, and we got back to them and kind of went from there.
Did the city of Clark make the new one?
Yes, yeah,
Local
they did.
six,
Two
seven
artists here in Brasstown might have a world-class art tile business. And when we decided to make it ceramic instead of wood or not being blacksmith, we thought about metal. There's still a lot of weathering to contend with. So we decided to make it out of, he fired ceramic with blades on there, and it's mosaic. They suggested making it in pieces because that way the edges can come right together and the colors won't bleed across. And they really knew what they were doing. That's Jim Clark and his wife Lisa Davia Clark. Some of you should know that. They did a real good job. Jim came down and helped me put it up there after we got it finished. But anyway, the two work camps closed successfully, and the people in them were so impressive to the locals. They were just a good example of why we found out the AFSC was awarded the Nobel Prize for Peace in 1947 for wartime and post-wartime humanitarian relief efforts. And I guess just one more thing, I'd like to recognize those two girls again. The first one up there. That's Margaret Hollingsworth from Columbus, Ohio. And, excuse me. We found out about her because her niece, Lynn Riffle, from Columbus, Ohio, had kept and organized her things that she had collected and kept all these years. She was deceased. She died at age 80 in 2006. But Lynn and her husband Tim brought material down to the folk school during Fall Festival last October. Gave it to Suzanne, and it helped us a lot with all the different, we must have 50 or 60 letters and at least that many photographs that copied, and Suzanne digitized and put it in the system and so forth. But Margaret had never been married, but she was an artist, had an art degree. She painted and made sketches, and she had a ceramics and I found out since a pottery business. And she, as I said, she died in 2006 at the age of 80. Lynn and Tim not only brought the stuff down here in October, but they've come down to be with us today. I'd like to ask you to join me in giving them a round of applause for their enthusiasm and support. You have to excuse me on a very touching experience. The other lady, Kofi, now does that not look like the girl Karen? Kofi lived until 2019 and died at the age of 93. She was not married either. That was a retired second and third grade school teacher. And when she, her obituary said one of the things that she prized the most, one of the memories she prized the most, was the work camp, AFSC work camps that she participated in over the years, and it had been quite a few. But it said, especially the one at Campbell Folk School in North Carolina. We thought that was very special. Her niece, Claire Wilson of Cincinnati, had seen our post that went online here at Folk School in 2013. She had seen it and recognized that was her aunt's group that was there. And she had copied it off and shared it with her aunt. And her aunt said, it was just like she remembered what it should have been. We took it all out of their weekly work course. We appreciated that from Aunt Kofi and from Claire. And the reason that we made working under the star part 4 and 5, just on these two ladies, because of the new information that came in. And the thing that was, that enticed us to do that, we had not had any information about the personal information about who the work campers were and all this. All my information was project related, which was good stuff. But this helped us learn a little more about these two women. And from what we have, it looks like they were just typical of the whole group. So if I gave a really good account of myself, and the camps closed, and everyone thought it was just really a good effort. It made a positive impact on the community. So there's just one more person we need to thank, and that's Suzanne. She did a really fine job of doing all that stuff with software and computers that I can't do. And she does it fast and efficiently and with good attitude, and we sure appreciate it. And that's what I've got.